friends, you're in for a full face video today, and the topic is Dollar General. So many of us who live in rural areas have a Dollar General that they can get to fairly easily. Where I grew up in a town of 1,200, by the time I graduated high school, there was a Dollar General in town. But outside of that, you were definitely driving a half hour to the west or a half hour to the east to get to a Walmart or something where you could do more shopping, you know? There are so many little towns that you'll drive through in Southern Illinois, and they don't have much, but they do have a DG. And so this video is kind of a shout out to those of us in rural areas who might just need to pick up something where they are without any travel involved and just get what they need real quick. I know online ordering, of course, is always an option. I know getting in the car and driving for a while is an option, but what if there's just something you need quickly and Dollar General is the option that's convenient for you? That's what I'm going to talk about today, because it's not like they're a full-blown drugstore. It's actually very interesting, the selection of beauty products that they have. And we've got to update you. Believe Beauty, it was an awesome brand that they had there for a period of at least a few years. Exclusive to Dollar General, they had a great foundation, they had an awesome powder formula in their eyeshadows and bronzers and blushes, and now that's gone. And that's really too bad. That was a major loss. Like, I could do videos about Dollar General and there would be so much of it that was Believe Beauty because they just rocked, and now they're gone. They have replaced the Believe Beauty display in my local stores with E.L.F. But it's not like you're getting all of E.L.F. that you might get in Walmart. My Walmart's got like a full aisle's worth of E.L.F. Here we're talking an end cap of E.L.F. You're getting a portion of Maybelline, a small portion of CoverGirl. You're getting some LA Colors, but that's kind of the extent of it. I'm sure it could vary a little bit. Maybe some stores have a little more, some have a little less, but that's generally what I see in my experience at a Dollar General. It's limited amounts of a few brands. And what would you pick if you got to go in there and get some makeup, right? Well, I'm going to put together a full face, a very nearly full face, using products you could get at Dollar General, and just, you know, the decisions I would make with what's available there. And as far as E.L.F. goes, because I could do a full face of E.L.F. and be really happy with it, but it's not the normal selection. Like, for example, they're not selling E.L.F. foundations there. They've got primers. I'm looking at a little like a screenshot of the E.L.F. section. They're doing the whole Halo Glow stuff with the illuminating primer. They've got some hydrating concealers. They've even got some E.L.F. skincare, but it's not everything. So if you're sitting there wondering, like, I know Em loves this certain E.L.F. thing, but why is it not coming into this video? Dollar General does not have everything E.L.F. But guess what? They do have this primer that I happen to really love. It's the E.L.F. Liquid Poreless Putty Primer. It's really good. I feel like it's kind of the underrated primer, excuse me, in E.L.F.'s range. Everybody talks about the grippy stuff or the glowy stuff, but this actually, oh, it just has a beautiful texture crossing the skin. It almost feels like something is stretching over the surface of your skin and actually having an impact on the look of pores. I can definitely tell around my nose when I use this, but it's just really smooth, easy to blend. If you've never tried this and maybe you're just kind of over all the other kind of viral primers that are out there, you might look into this one, especially if you want some help with your pores. And we always say this, but it's an effect that's even more easily seen once the foundation is on top, because then you're kind of able to see what that pore filling primer was truly able to do. But like, it's got more moisture in it than a Benefit Professional. I feel like it's actually a pretty special texture. So that's the primer I'm choosing. For foundation, like I said, E.L.F. isn't carrying any. Maybelline has a limited amount, and CoverGirl. Of the foundations offered, I would definitely go for this Maybelline Fit Me Matte and Poreless. Now, along these same lines, Maybelline makes their dewy version of Fit Me, but I haven't actually seen that one in DG. They really just are carrying the matte and poreless stuff. So I've got this in the shade Light Beige. This is a good foundation, don't get me wrong. I mean, they're not doing anything fancy. We're still not working with pumps here. But as far as lightweight feeling foundation goes, that's going to effectively even out your skin, but it's going to be about at a medium coverage level. It's good. It's a good standard foundation. It's kind of like, yeah, she's been around for a while. She's been doing a good job. A lot of new ones have come out in the meantime, but nothing changed about the goodness of this. So I'm going to blend that in. E.L.F. Duo Complexion Brush. This shade is really pretty good for me. 118 Light Beige. See that? Evening out the skin. We've got that poreless primer on that's really playing nicely with the texture of the foundation. But if you've never tried this foundation, it really feels just like a standard liquid. Like, it's a very by the book type of liquid. It's not too runny, but it's not thick. It's literally just the consistency you picture when you think liquid foundation. And it's hard for me to tell you exactly how much I use because I just kind of like, you know, dabbed it on. You don't have a pump here. I bet you could buy a pump and put on it if you were real serious about it. But it does give me this overall kind of mattified look. I don't look too dry and cakey, but I'm not looking shiny either. For concealer, they're selling one of my faves, which is the E.L.F. Hydrating Camo Concealer. So you know I'm going for that. I wear this in light peach, and this is going to give us that beautiful coverage around our eyes or anywhere where we need it on the face. Been a user of this and a lover of this for years, so no real surprise there. Probably not selling the entire shade range of this product at Dollar General, but it does seem like a good chunk of the range, you know, so hopefully you can find what you need there. If you're needing a concealer, this is the one that you can count on for coverage. This is the one you can count on for not over drying. I mean, it's really the concealer that I go back to in my mind when I'm trying a new concealer and I'm thinking about coverage and I'm thinking about texture. Like, I'm always kind of referencing this in my mind and probably out loud a lot of times too. I'm taking the larger end of my brush now that I've just kind of done my spreading, and I'm tapping it in. You may be able to find an LA Colors concealer that's in a little tube at Dollar General. I've used that before. It can get the job done, but look at the coverage. Like, we're doing so well on coverage. Another thing that's available at DG is actually Coty Airspun Loose Powder. So this is a great loose powder option. I would definitely recommend it. Ever since the grandma video, I've become a believer in this. I've realized that it's very effective in giving you kind of a dull skin look, and actually in so many cases, as it wears throughout the day, it ends up seeming a little more one with my skin. It doesn't look worse as time goes on, which is sometimes the case with a powder. Biscuit's here. Hi, Angel. But we are picking some of this up, and we're gonna dab it on the under eye for setting and perfecting. I'm gonna dab it around the T-zone as well. Another option, if you're thinking, I'd like a powder to set with, but I don't really like to use loose. If you see the Maybelline Fit Me Matte and Poreless Pressed Powder, if you're about my skin tone, there's a shade called Porcelain, and it's very similar to the lightest shade of Kosas Cloud Set, okay? So that would be my recommendation there if you want to stay in the pressed range. Then I'm gonna take my Morphe Under Eye Bullet Brush, and then I'm knowing that the brush probably has some powder on it, and I'm just going to take it around. You know, just dab it around. I am not feeling like I need to set all over the rest of my face because think about it. We've used a poreless primer. We've used Fit Me Matte and Poreless Foundation. I've now set my concealed areas that might have been a little more juicy due to the Hydrating Camo Concealer. I'm not screaming for more powder all over the face. However, like I said, the Fit Me Matte and Poreless Pressed Powder could be a good little all over option. And also, frankly, I've been reaching for this one a lot too. Just my CoverGirl Clean Invisible powder. They do sell this. I wear the shade Classic Beige, and this has become a nice little like just touch-up powder too. So just letting you know that is there. They also carry, as far as I know, some of the clean foundations, but I would prefer this one over those. Now for bronzer contour, they carry the E.L.F. contour palette, and I think that's pretty cool because this is a multitasker. Without having a ton of products on hand, they have something here that can really be adjusted to be the type of product a person needs it to be. You got lighter tone, deeper tone, you've got the ability to mix. This lightest shade actually seems to have the gentlest of glows. This shade for some might be just an all over skin tone powder or a powder that could be mixed and help lighten these up. But we're gonna use this today. I'm gonna first go into the lighter of the two like bronzy colors and just apply that around my hairline. Skin needs some dimension. We've gotten it nice and covered, but we are very matte. And these powders are very soft. They're very pigmented. If you haven't tried them before, it doesn't take a lot. You don't need to be scrubbing your brush in there. I just dip between the two and I'm kind of chiseling out my cheekbone area a little bit. Yes. Guys, I'm glad I'm up here doing this video because it's loosening some tension in my mind, honestly, because right now as I shoot this on Thursday, I've got a child with Flu B who has her first cheer competition and showcase coming up this weekend. And she's scheduled for a practice tonight, the last practice before competition. I just don't know what we're gonna do. I feel a lot of weight on my shoulders to get her better. Basically, the situation is she came home Tuesday with a fever, and she held on to that fever through the night and pretty much all day yesterday. It's been low grade. It's been either between 99 and as high as like maybe 101.7 at the highest. She's not hungry, but I've gotten her to eat popsicles and hydrate pretty well with things like Gatorade and Body Armor that are gonna, put a little something extra in her system. I mean, this isn't my first rodeo with a sick kid. I know that there's gonna be a period of time where a kid with a fever just is not interested in food, and that's okay. Just keep them hydrated. But I'm just kind of like in my mind thinking, what's the fastest path to getting better from this? Because right now I feel like that really matters. And I don't want her to go a long time like losing her strength and losing her energy and all that. I feel like once the fever breaks, it's gonna be great and she'll be ready to eat and do all those things. I just hope that day is today. She had to miss school yesterday. I'm just praying today is the day for a huge rebound. By the time you guys see this, it'll be Saturday, and hopefully I'll be reporting to you that all is well and we're able to do the events of the weekend. I'm really feeling like that will probably be okay. I'm kind of most worried about this practice that has to happen tonight. Fast forward, she ended up missing the Thursday practice, was just completely exhausted, could not do it. She was feeling better Friday, got prescribed a 1-dose steroid that she will take this morning ahead of all the cheer stuff going on this weekend. Let's just see for fun, like take a little bit of this, because any shimmer in this is really, really soft, but there is, can you see, a little glow? I know I haven't put blush on yet, but it's okay. But this is good because I didn't pull out any kind of highlighter, and this is kind of doing some gentle brightening. A classic product, a nice product, something that could also become eyeshadow for you in a pinch if you were trying to really minimize purchases, so that's great. For blush, there's really not a lot of blush options there when you start to look around. You can see that there are some good pigmented liquid blushes sold by LA Colors. There's also liquid blushes from E.L.F. from their Halo Glow. I feel like those are honestly kind of expensive from E.L.F. for what they are. And I don't love the packaging design. It can get messy, and they're very glowy as well. Not everybody wants that. But there is a good classic blush out there that you can grab, and it's this. This is on the cheaper end from E.L.F. $2. The shade is a bright pink. It's just one of their classic regular blushes. It's one of those things that's still clinging on to the cheapest end of E.L.F. that's still around. Now, they do sell the blush quad that looks like this. I don't have the most current one that looks like what they're selling now, but they do have that available, and that would be good too if you're really into blush and you like options. But this shade can be cheap and do the work for me, and I'm going to go into that like tons of pigment with a little tap in E.L.F. blush brush, and look, that can totally pass, It's like, how do you work with bits and pieces of different drugstore brands to make the makeup at Dollar General work for you? And this is the stuff I would pick. Look at that. I can't believe I haven't used this blush more, actually. That is such a classic pink, making me feel alive. You could put this on someone with flu B and they'd look alive. But yeah, we've now put together a complexion where it's like, I don't feel like I was scraping things together. I've found legitimately good products that I've liked and known I've liked for a while now, and we've been able to put that together from DG. Now on brows, E.L.F. does carry the Instant Lift pencils, and while it's not my favorite shape and size currently, I like to go for something skinnier. There may be some other skinny ones there, but now I'm just kind of thinking from memory, and I'm not sure. LA Colors, I think, does do a skinny one, so you might look toward that. But Instant Lift, I know you're gonna find that there. Neutral Brown is the shade, and you know what? I can make it work. Let's say I ran out of all of my brow pencils. I know I could go in there and grab this and be like, yep, I can create a brow with this. And I do love the tone of Neutral Brown because while it is a thicker pencil, and it would show, like if it was an improper tone of pencil, given the thickness of the pencil, I think it would definitely kind of show up, but it's very good, very cool. And you have the spoolie that you can brush through, and that does help when you feel like maybe the texture or the size isn't quite perfect with your brow pencil. That spoolie, don't underestimate what that can do, because it can kind of diffuse the product a little bit. Now, it wasn't that long ago that Dollar General also sold some Wet n Wild, but that is not there at all anymore. Now, as far as brushes and tools, they do have some kind of like, I don't even know what the brand is that's on them, but it seems like kind of a generic, maybe just for DG store brand of some random brushes. And if you look down low in E.L.F's display, you will see some brushes there as well. Okay, I've pretty well gotten them filled in. For a brow gel, there's actually quite a few options. I think they've got that one that's sold in a little pot, like a lamination type thing. They've got this one, the brow laminating gel. They've got the cheaper one that looks like double-ended, just clear brow gel. Get whatever you like. Like, I do enjoy this one, but I could also get by with just a clear. If I was buying a bunch of stuff and I was like literally trying to stock up on the whole makeup routine at Dollar General, I could definitely cut corners by just getting a basic clear brow gel. And I'm sure LA Colors has one too that could just run you a couple bucks. But I like that you can go through this. It will look whitish in my brows at first, but they have the little comb and brush, and you can pretty much get it looking just so. Now, I don't know that we got eye primer options, but I'm just saying. Get E.L.F. Lock It Down, get Milani eyeshadow primer. Your best chance might be to find this there. I just can't quite remember if it was part of the display or not. I can't really see from my picture. Just a little something to go over your lids. Concealer can be used in a pinch. You're probably thinking, gosh, Em, it's been a lot of E.L.F. I've been seeing lots of E.L.F. in this video. But now here is the unexpected thing. LA Colors Nude Palette. LA Colors is a very interesting animal because there's a version of it that you'll always find at Dollar Tree. There's a version of it that's now being sold in my Walmart store, but then there's Dollar General's version of LA Colors, and that happens to contain this nude palette that is actually really good. I've talked about it before. I've done videos using this. This is a solid option. They also have some skinny, longer palettes. They're not as good as this, but this can be found at Dollar General and Dollar General alone. So here's what's up. We're gonna go in here, we're gonna create a little eye look. I'm gonna use the shade that's labeled Lid. They do have some labels on things. Lid, crease, highlight, crease up here. Just do what you want to do. I'm taking that medium kind of warmish brown and making that become crease actually, because it's such a beautiful mid-tone type of color. But there's nice pigment in these. Isn't it interesting how like LA Colors has those nice little quads that I've talked about, like, oh, these are at Dollar Tree. They have these little quads. They look like E.L.F. bite-sized quads, but they're $1.25. They have a great color selection, maybe some even better shade choices than some of the E.L.F. bite-sized ones have. But it's like, those aren't going to be showing up in Dollar General. Why? You know, like, why can't LA Colors just be LA Colors everywhere, the same kind of brand? I don't know. Like, what does it look like in the LA Colors offices? Okay, you're the Dollar General team, you're the Dollar Tree team, and you're the Walmart team. There's some overlap, but there's also things you'd never see at certain places, but only see at others. Highlight. I'm gonna go into that giant pan. I'm going to put that over the edge of my soft crease. Dollar General, baby. I wanna amplify my crease just a little bit with this shade right here. So we got two reddish tones, one with no shimmer, one with shimmer. I'm going to go into the matte and I'm going to use that to like kind of boost myself up here on the outside. Just easy blending. You'll be surprised. See, look at that. Some might say on the topic of Belle, and if she's still got this fever hanging around, like, you know, give her some Tylenol, give her a fever reducer. And I kind of want to just use that as a last resort because I've always heard you should try to just let your body just fight it off. That's what I've heard, but I'm no doctor here. In any other situation with me or my kids, you know, I've just like kind of accepted, okay, I've got a fever. It's not a real comfortable feeling, but it's gonna pass. We got these little fever like gel patches that she can wear on her forehead that make her feel kind of good for a short time. I will say she was not lethargic really yesterday. She was sitting on the couch. She wasn't really doing anything, but she wasn't like falling asleep. In fact, she was doing some of her online work that she was able to do from home. She's not as down and out as one could be with this. I'm gonna take this crease color, this matte like soft black brown, Morphe M303, pat it on the outer part of your lid. As with a lot of videos I do, I'm not trying to recreate the wheel with a makeup look and create something really wildly different for you. I want you to see how the shades work with normal usage. You know, I'm trying to let you see, is the dark shade pigmented? Yes, it is. Flip the brush, use that in your crease. You know, we can blend that out with a smaller brush, but no one would know. Oh, you're using all Dollar General? Yeah, I'm proud of it. There are so many times where I run to a DG when it's like, okay, you need a couple things and you need them kind of quick. I won't get my full grocery list there, but it's like, okay, we just ran out of milk unexpectedly and I need cat litter. Well, if one of those random things on your list is like foundation or concealer or something, guess what? You can make DG work for you in that way too. I'm going to use a little bit of this shade that's like kind of a brown shimmer. I'm just kind of like letting that play right out here in the outer corner, kind of just blending it around the whole part, this whole zone of my look. Look at that. You get you a little easy brown smoky eye out of this. It's not because I'm doing a great job with the makeup. These are just really easy to blend. Look, easy, seamless. Enough mattes, you know, to make it all go. Shades like this that can kind of create a gradient and blend out edges. Finally, I think I'm going to take a little bit of this shade for some brightness. There is some shimmer in this shade labeled highlight. I'm just going to use the included sponge tip and just pat that over the inner part of my lid, let it gently overlap with the deeper shade. We've got a finished, very complete look. And it's not like you gotta go dark on the outside every day, but like I'm trying to let you know. Oh, is it a night out and you lost something? Or you're traveling back to grandma's and you forgot eyeshadow and there is a DG down the street? Get that. I'm gonna create a little lower lash line for myself as well with this sort of smoky friend right here. Just a little bit of that. Focus it on the tip of your brush. A small brush like this, Profusion Small Pointed. Now, I did hear at one point that Profusion was gonna have a little spin-off line at Dollar General, and I've yet to actually lay eyes on that in a store in person. I think it was called Color Spell or something. Let me know if you have that, because that could change the game. Profusion is quality, you know? Super good. For eyeliner, I gotta say I'm not equipped with a good eyeliner option here. I'm not saying there aren't good ones, but I just don't have one. E.L.F. probably has one in their range that could work, and so does LA Colors. I don't have an LA Colors one on hand right now, but I don't think it's really essential when your eyeshadow looks really complete and stuff. Like, I don't have to have eyeliner. I'm using E.L.F. lash extender though, you know, like they have that, and I can use that top and bottom when I want to, but always bottom. It's tubing, it's not gonna smudge. They do carry it at Dollar General, absolutely. That was an easy choice. Now I think Maybelline and CoverGirl are gonna have some options too. You might find some Lash Sensational. I know you'll find some Lash Blast there. So if those are your jam, you can find those. But this is mine. I love this. I also just appreciate the brush. Like it's not gonna get me in too much trouble with booping it on my eyelid. It's very easy to control. Just with tubing mascaras, you'll notice I'm not bouncing eye to eye right here. I'm just trying to take it before it sets and get it built the way I want it to be. And then I can just hop down here for a little lower lash. Oops, I just blinked too hard and I did get a little down there. Ah, it's okay. So here I am, I'm just carrying on here with this left eye. I'm gonna do the lowers, I'm gonna undo my mistake, and then we're gonna talk lips. Okay, eyes are done, I'm feeling good about it, and we're gonna talk about lips. I've got a couple different things you can do here. Number one, I saw at my Dollar General CoverGirl Clean Fresh Balms, which I love these for a tinted lip balm. This shade called Bliss You Berry, I've used so much of it. Look at this. Just look at this beautiful, easy, and they feel good. If you're sensitive to fragrance, they don't have it. So there's that option. Immediately brightens the face. If you need a quick lip option that really looks finished, no matter the occasion, it's just a little balm, you know? But yeah, it can do the job. Consider that. But I have a lip combo as well. This is from LA Colors. They carry a gel lip liner. The shade is called My Favorite Nude. And it's good. It's kind of toasty though, so be aware it's more of like a warm brown. Might not be everybody's cup of tea. But David was telling me recently he used a Maybelline, like the light shade of the Maybelline brow pencils that are packaged in red, that one of those was like a perfect lip liner for him. I thought that's cool. So you can think out of the box. But this is named My Favorite Nude and it's very long wearing. It goes on easily enough, but that's long wear. And then the weirdness of LA Colors, like this moisturizing lip gloss, I don't see it at Dollar Tree. I mean, let me know if you're seeing it at your Dollar Tree, but I don't see it there. I don't see it at Walmart, but I do see it at Dollar General. And this shade is called Topaz. This reminds me of a Revlon lip gloss that I was like addicted to back in the old house days. And it just gives this like shimmer and sheen right there in the center. It's not too metallic and you can kind of mix it in, blend it in. But I always love the way that looks just gently worked into a lip look. That is my Dollar Tree face, friends. It's an interesting little challenge because you're dealing with different selections of the brands you know, and you're not gonna find everything. And maybe some stores differ a little bit one to the next. I feel like I have a little spot in my brow there that needs attention. But even if Dollar General isn't even a thing where you live, maybe you're in a more urban area, you got all the options you could possibly want, maybe this still just gives you some general information about a few things. And an example of a really pulled together look that I think ultimately, this is medium coverage foundation, but I look full by the time I have put on my camo concealer and set it with that Coty Airspun powder. Am I right? Like, that complexion looks great. It's nice to be able to talk about some of these little products. They're total studs. Like, that could be the eyeshadow. If you're trying to limit purchases and you need to replenish some things, this could be an easy eyeshadow look. I've rediscovered this blush. I think that's so good. The shade is called Bright Pink. They had this shade and one other. They're packaged this way. $2. The lip combo is great. You gotta love matte and poreless. I am so pleased with this look. So thank you, friends, for taking time to watch. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you again very soon. I love you. Bye.